Le Nissan Kick-Split 2025 a beaucoup de plus. Apple CarPlay intégré pour jouer vos tunes préférées, des fonctions avancées de sécurité, un rendement énergétique remarquable, puis même la petite odeur de char neuf qu'on aime tant. Tout ça en plus pour moins. Le Nissan Kick-Split 2025 est le véhicule neuf le plus abordable au Québec. Achetez-le à partir de seulement 22 774 $, incluant un rabais à l'achat comptant de 2 600 $. Profitez de cette offre avantageuse chez votre concessionnaire dès maintenant. Jusqu'au 2 mars, des conditions s'appliquent. Détails chez Nissan.
Well, we talked about this earlier in the week, and I heard stories from listeners about buying condos and then finding after the fact that there were many hidden defects. Well, a bill has been tabled by the Quebec government to ensure that horror stories like that don't occur as much. Labour Minister Jean Boulet is on the line, responsible for the bill. Minister Boulet, welcome back to the show.
Thank you very much, and good morning, Elias.
And good morning to you. So let's talk about what's been tabled. What is in this bill that was tabled on Wednesday, and how does it protect Quebecers?
Elias, our primary intention in tabling a bill like that is to increase the quality of construction in Quebec, particularly in the residential sector. And to achieve this goal, we propose to add inspections at key stages of construction according to a site supervision plan. And another element in the bill is that builders will be required to obtain a certificate of conformity which confirms that the work complies with the construction code or building standards applicable to municipalities. And Elias, as you made it clear in your introduction, I have to highlight the fact that over the last 5 years, there has been a significant increase in the non-conformities or the non-compliance or the construction defects that were detected by the inspectors of the building management. It's what we call in French the Régie du bâtiment du Québec. So it's fundamental that we have that in mind, the quality of the construction, the public safety, and of course the qualification of the builders, and finally the productivity.
Why do you think it's gone up so much in the last 5 years? What happened? I mean, aside from the CIQ being in government, what happened in the last 5 years to see an explosion like this in the number of these defects and other issues?
We have been consulting all the construction partners over the last years, and we concluded that we have to revise the way we inspect, we monitor, and we make sure that all the buildings are in compliance with the construction code. There is no specific reason. Every construction defect has a reason, has a story, but of course we have to revise the way we make things in order to reduce as much as possible the number of construction defects. And we have, by the same way, increased the confidence of the Quebec population toward our builders.
Now, every single decision made by any government, every decision has consequences, whether we like to admit it or not. And I'm just trying to figure out this bill, could there be some unintended consequences like slowing down or delaying or stopping construction projects? We all know how much we need housing right now. So how do we balance proper inspections with not creating an environment where developers say, I'm not going to build?
Of course, we analyze financial impact, and it's not really significant. It represents around 0.8% of the value of a specific construction project. But the insurer that is responsible for the residential contractors made a survey, and according to this survey, they consider that it costs between 8 and 15 times more to redo a job than to do it right the first time. I think it's clear that the good practices that are commonplace among the major builders need to be integrated throughout this very important industry in Quebec.
Have there been any change? We're with Labor Minister Jean Boulet talking about new inspection requirements for construction projects to ensure that condos don't have hidden defects. Have there been any other changes to what a condo owner can do? Let's say someone bought a condo and then a couple of years later, defects have been found. Are there any changes there to protect these condo owners if the worst case scenario happens?
Of course, there's an insurer. They have to make sure that they understand the nuts and bolts of the insurance plan and to consult the people that are responsible for the implementation of this plan. And they can also communicate with people at the building management, the Régie du Bâtiment du Québec, in order to identify the course they have to go to in order to obtain the compensation or to make sure that all that has to be done is perfectly done.
And Jean, does your bill have teeth? Does it have enough mechanisms, if anyone doesn't comply, that there will be significant penalties?
We doubled, we tripled a certain number of fines in order to make sure that it is well implemented. And so we will make sure that all the measures are in adequation with the objectives of this bill.
Now, Minister Boulet, but while I still have you with us and I have some extra time with you, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about some other things that are happening in the province. And we all know that you were the former immigration minister, and you know very well that I've defended you in your role as immigration minister. And I think what happened there at the end with that portion of the debate that was taken completely out of context, I don't think that was very fair to you. But I do want just your thoughts here on this other story happening in Quebec when it comes to asylum seekers. Of course, François Legault speaking this week was talking about how asylum seekers should be forced to go to other parts of Canada. I would love to know, in your role as an MNA and this role in Quebec and this story in Quebec right now, your thoughts on what we've heard this week and how you think the Quebec government and the federal government should be handling this.
Of course, Elias, I will restrict my comments on the subject. But I like to live in a Quebec society that is extremely human, that likes to welcome people, but in compliance with our capacity to do so. And of course, for the asylum seekers, the main point is they have to be able to get a work permit to integrate the society as quickly as possible. And I think it's important to remind Quebec people that Quebec has done a great work in doing so. But of course, as we reiterated many times, we have to make sure that they go to other provinces in proportion with the population in Quebec. So I can say more than that, Elias.
Well, can you say anything else about the federal government's role in all this and maybe Ottawa's deficiencies in handling the immigration dossier?
Yes, it's a very good point. At the end of the day, it's Ottawa that is mainly responsible for the arrival of so many asylum seekers. The number has grown significantly over the last few years, to a point that it has exceeded the capacity of this province to welcome them correctly and humanly.
Ms. Boulet, we have to leave it there. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. Merci et à la prochaine.
Merci, Elias, and see you soon.
Absolutely. Take care. That's Jean Boulet, Quebec's Labour Minister.